birthday, happy birth, happy pickleball, happy everything. Who else wants to say hello? Maureen's here. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Are you coming this way soon, by any chance? No plans yet. Okay. Okay. Who else wants to say hello? Carol. Hello. Hello, Miss Carol. How's Arkansas? It's warm. Well, okay then. I'd stay hydrated. Yes. All right, guys. This is our weekly Dr. Dees Call. This is your Sunrider call, and we are talking tonight about our amazing Sunrider foods and Sunrider products. And hopefully from last week to this week, all of you have kind of re-engaged and taken a look at which products you're using, which products maybe you could increase, maybe some flavor changes. And also, hopefully, all of us have kind of taken a step forward into the reminder of what regeneration means. And we're going to cover it one more time again tonight. But I do want to ask before we get started, has anyone tried anything new, experimented, new recipe, new moment this week with Sunrider that you want to share? New aha? I'm going to remind you, since two of you just texted me, *6 allows you to mute. It also, if you hit it again, *6 allows you to unmute. And for those of you that actually have a mute button that says mute, you can push it or you can unpush it, and therefore you can speak. Guys, this is going to be an interactive call for all of you that are new. This is a call where you get to ask questions, share your experiences, share maybe some recipes, whether it's recipes for really good health or a recipe that you have found in combining some of your Sunrider foods. And I would love for anybody who wants to jump in.
Dr. Dees.
Yes, ma'am.
Marlene had sent a interesting email regarding an interesting cookie with oatmeal, peanut butter, and a banana. And I didn't see any call for NuPlus. I didn't add that though. And I did make that recipe, but instead of peanut butter, I used almond butter. It was interesting. It was good though, but I think the oats should have been pre-cooked a little bit.
Okay, so I think this is a really good jumping off point, and we'll use it as our segue. There are wonderful, guys. I want you to look at all the different ways you can use our Sunrider foods in your recipes. So Jeannie just tapped right in before we even jump in to a good question. Can we use our Sunrider foods in our recipes? The answer is yes. All right, so I want you to look at, so Jeannie, for you, I would go ahead and just email Marlene back and ask her what the recipe, called for in terms of NuPlus or maybe some Sunnydew. But I'd like you to try again, and you can, really work with it in terms of pre-cooking your oats, etc. I do want some of you that have really good, and I'm going to share my own in a minute, salad dressings. A lot of you are making your own baby foods. Some of you have amazing smoothies, green smoothies, berry smoothies, high iron smoothies for those of you that are anemic, all sorts of wonderful contributions. And although each one of you thinks that everybody knows, what you know, they don't. And I want to remind you that what you're doing in your kitchen matters, and how you're using the products even in your bathrooms, right? Or your showers or your laundry matter. Every testimony, every little bit helps somebody that's listening. So all testimonies are great. So I'm going to just start, and then I'll let you guys jump back in by saying that once a week what we do is we do this interactive call to all talk about how we're applying and using our Sunrider foods to better our health and to attain what's called regeneration. And regeneration is truly a word that Sunrider coined which means that if we eat the right foods in the right combination, in a concentrated form, the body, and again, this is a key point, the body, when it can digest and it can truly convert that nutrition into fuel, begins to do what we call regenerate. The systems work better. The body overall works better. It cleanses more efficiently, right? We get more energy. We start to notice little things like our nails are stronger, right? All the little things. The nails are stronger. The hair seems thicker or fuller. You notice that maybe that belly isn't as big. You start to feel better. And so Sunrider is truly a wellness company, and the focus is on feeding you this kind of concept, the right combination of food in a concentrated form, and it is digestible and absorbable. And when you take it, whether it is in a vial and it looks like a liquid, or it looks to a lot of you like a tea bag, or it looks like it's a powder, it may look those ways, but truly it's just a different form of food. And it's a way to really concentrate it so that you don't have to digest so much bulk. And the example I always like to use is if I told you, right, for me as a doctor in this field, right, of nutrition, that eating 5 to 7 pounds of broccoli every day would give you wonderful antioxidants. And you said, okay, Dr. Dees, I'm going to do that. And a day later you called me and said, why does my stomach hurt? Why am I so bloated? I cannot eat this quantity. That's what we're talking about. We could never consume the quantity of truly a raw ingredients that we need to really give us the nutrition we need. And so Doctors Chen, in their brilliant, dedicated way, have found a way for us to be able to consume the nutrition of all of this amount of food without having to digest and consume 5 to 7 pounds of every single vegetable, of every single fruit, right? Of every single legume. So when we talk about the foods and we talk about concentration, I want you to think about if I had you go in your garden and pick that 5 to 7 pounds of broccoli, but only eat, right, 1 head of that broccoli, and we were going to spray dry 10 pounds of broccoli on that 1 head, and you had 1 salad. That's what we call dense nutrition, concentrated nutrition. You're eating a small amount, but you're getting the nutrition of if you consumed a lot. That's what Sunrider really is. And the reason regeneration can work is because your body can digest it, and it can convert it, right, from the original food into, right, whatever it needs, fuel for the heart to pump better, for your digestive tract to work better. Maybe it's fuel for your circulation, or it's repair work, or cleansing, or fortifying of the organs or the cells, whatever it may be. We know that if we get enough nutrition into you, I'm positive you feel better. Get it in.
May I ask you a question, please?
Yep. Let me finish this and I'll let you ask, okay? 1 second, honey. So before I take that question, I want to remind all of you that as you're eating the Sunrider foods and as you're reminding yourself they're concentrated, a little goes a long way. All right? A little goes a long way. So when we're talking about the importance of Sunrider, I just want to give you a little blurb, and I like to always share from you a little bit about Sunrider before we jump into asking our questions. And that is, this is right from Sunrider, and it's really, truly the foundation. It's called the Sunrider difference. And there's 4 very distinct principles. The first is what we just talked about, the philosophy of regeneration. Right? That if we feed the body the correct nutrition in the correct form, in a concentrated form, your body will do the regenerating. The body becomes the miracle because we're giving it enough food in the right combination and in the right form. The second is that Sunrider is a company of food, not chemicals. This is not about replacing your medication. This is not a company or a product line that has to do with what do we have in place of Tylenol or a place of Motrin or a place of my medication. This is about, I'm going to build my body with food stronger, and maybe I won't have that headache, right? Maybe my body will start to feel better and I won't need as much. And that's something that you can work with your doctor or yourself. But the important piece is to remind yourself that we are nourishing ourselves to better health. This is about food, not chemicals, not medication. The third is a little bit of what we talked about earlier, which is it's a variety of ingredients. Meaning that some of the products, such as the winery, has 50 different whole food vegetables in it. 50, 50. And so if we have the right combination, you'll notice that when we eat the right combination, the body systems, which all require different foods, start to regenerate. The carrot might be good for one thing. The broccoli may be good for something else, right? We need all of it. So if I were a person that said, yes, I eat my vegetables every day, and I dug maybe a little deeper and asked you, well, which vegetables? And you said, well, every day I eat carrots and I use my garlic. I know right off the bat that there's a whole array of vegetables missing. What Sunrider has done is they have been able to put the right combination together for you in the right variety. And the fourth is really, in my opinion, the most important, and that is we have expertise. Dr. Teifu Chen is a world-renowned herbalist, a degree in pharmacology and pharmacy. Dr. Oilen Chen is a medical doctor. Dr. Ruben Chen is a medical doctor. Eric Chen is an organic chemist. All of them together oversee Sunrider. That's a really important piece of information. And if you look a little bit on Sunrider's website or in Sunrider's literature, you will take a look at a lot of the investment that they have made from the perspective of owner expertise. They oversee everything. As a family-owned company, Sunrider takes great pride in developing the world's best products. And while we're proud of our success, we continue to innovate new products and technology to ensure Sunrider remains the company for today and for future generations. And as someone like me and like a lot of you who, whether we are eating these foods for ourselves or we are parents who want to make sure that our children consume these products, or maybe we're feeding our animals. A lot of you give Sunrider to your animals. Possibly we are somebody that wants to just make a difference in other people's lives. But first, guys, you have got to eat these yourself and use these products yourself. And what I've learned this week in reading a lot of your emails, which is always astounding, is how many of you are not truly using and consuming enough of these foods or using them. You like the theory of them, but you haven't yet used them to really their benefits. So I want to start today by saying, everybody, let's start 6 again. So Matt can take this and it can be muted. And then as we ask our questions and we listen and we talk about some of these foods, I want to remind you that in theory, a lot of things are good, but until you put them into action, they're not going to make a difference. So if you like the idea, right, of Fortune Delight to hydrate you, I challenge you this week to drink it. And if you're drinking one packet of it, but you're noticing the second part of your day, you're petering out and tired, I challenge you to drink it again. And to remind all of you that we are either people that eat 3 meals a day, 6 small meals a day. We are not people that live only on breakfast or skip meals all day and then wait for dinner when we feel symptomatic. I want to teach you and really encourage you to use the Sunrider preventatively. Let it build you, not just treat you. And let's focus on a better fall. And I say that because what you eat this summer will really determine the quality of your immune system and your health going into cold and flu season. All right, so I'm going to let whoever wanted to ask a question, and then we're jumping into products. Go for it.
Well, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, great. What is a NuPlus?
All right, so what specific, are you using NuPlus? Let me start there before I tell you.
Yeah, actually, I find that I can, I can cook some vegetables and throw an egg in, and then I just take my NuPlus and throw that in, and I eat it all together.
That's lovely.
I add plus, and it's tasty, you know. And my favorite thing is to take NuPlus and just add I add raw cocoa and a little vanilla and some of the stuff that has the stevia and the marigold in it.
Good for you. So using some sun nectar and sunnydew.
Yeah, it's chocolate pudding, I think.
Yeah. So again, these are all these kind of recipes. I love hearing that someone's using it with eggs. So I will cover NuPlus for you. Give me 1 second, okay? And we'll get to NuPlus. But I want to just kind of.
Good. I put the powder. It looks, kind of.
This is important because, guys, this is what happens. We love that everybody loves to eat these foods, and then, we start to think, "Ooh, I feel better from it. What is it that I'm eating?" Right? What was that? So I want to start by kind of from the beginning. NBC. All right. So we have foods within Sunrider that are either nourishing, they are balancing, and they're cleansing. And all different organs kind of correlate or correspond to different products or different ingredients. NuPlus is from that category of N, nourishment. Okay, so it's a building block. And just like if we were feeding our children, right? If there was a baby, we know that we need to give our bodies building blocks right? Because we don't have everything we need yet to fill all of our immune needs or all of the organ needs as we start to grow. Well, NuPlus fills in all the missing gaps. So if you were an infant, right, or I were giving it to my child, I would say this is how I'm starting my child's life off so that I can build them stronger and they won't have these missing gaps. As we get older and our systems become more imbalanced, we have what looks like mountains and valleys and then the in-between. And some days we have more stress. Some days we have less, some days we are working, some days we're playing. We have very different lives, and we use up a lot of our nutrition that we think we've stored or we have enough. The truth is, when you are using your nutrition because you're playing or because you're exercising or you're working or even you're sleeping or for some of you you're recovering, we have to replace it or else we start the next day deficient again. And what NuPlus does, it is a collection of the correct, we think about this, vegetarian-based, right? Proteins and complex carbohydrates so that each one of our cells gets the nutrition again for the next day to start again and to either help us have better thinking, better concentration, better recovery. If we start the day in a deficient state because we used up all our nutrition, then we start out symptomatic. A lot of us will wake up with headaches or we didn't sleep well, hormones are off. NuPlus fills in everybody's gaps at all ages. And I like to use the analogy of the babies because a lot of you are using it as baby food. But for each one of us, every day is a new day. And every day we have to replace the nutrition that we've already used from the day before. It's not like Monday I ate really well, so I can skip Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? Because I ate really well Monday. I ate my NuPlus Monday, so I'm going to be great. It's not like that. It fills in the gaps for Monday. If you find you are in a state where you're recovering more, or you're exercising more, or you are busier, then you eat more NuPlus because you need more nutrition. It's like calories. It's like, think of it like gasoline in your car. Once it's out, it's out. You have to refill it. The car's in good shape. It's just not going to move. That's what NuPlus does. It's the gasoline for your body. And every day gives you the right combination. And in all my years of being in this field, I have never found a more perfect food, ever. And for a lot of you, it has been a lifesaver. And so you can eat it dry. I have been known to be driving and open up a packet and just eat it. You can make smoothies with it, right? You can mash up your banana and put it in make pudding. You can put it in your eggs, put it in your cereal. You can put it in anything you want, or you can just put it in a bottle with a little water, or your Fortune Delight, or whatever it is you're drinking. Shake it up and go. It doesn't matter. Just get it in. There's a multitude of flavors, and it's just a little dried fruit, right? There's berries and banana, and plain has really got some apple in it. There is one that I think is important, and that is called Simply Herbs. It has no dried fruit in it. And so for a lot of you who do not like anything that has a little bit of fruit at all in it, that's Simply Herbs is the best. And then there is an original, which some of you call regular, but there's an original that actually has none of what we call the tofu in it, or the actual whole soybean in it. And so I want to remind everyone that this is a non-GMO product. There's no sugar, there's no preservatives. This is designed to give you the right amount of vegetarian protein, complex carbohydrates, and what we look at on a plate, fruits and vegetables, every day, every meal, all the time. For those of you guys that truly are having longer days, I know a lot of you text me when you're stressed, more stressful days, or you've taken on a new exercise program, or you want to replace a meal because you're on a slim down challenge, you can eat the NuPlus. It will always balance you, always feed you, always fuel you, always. And because it's dense, it's actually low calorie, high nutrition. It works every time, all the time. And so when you're questioning, my favorite idea is when you are really hungry, or the kids are hungry, or you don't know what to eat and you're about to pretty much eat anything that's in front of you, start with NuPlus. It will lower what feel like an endorphin high when you start to feel that craving, or for a lot of you it's a binge or late night eating where you're hungry for something. I challenge you to eat NuPlus. What you'll find is you start to calm down. It answers all the nutritional needs, and then in a very calm, very conscious way, you will know what else you're hungry for, or if you're even hungry at all. The body, if you give it the right nutrition, will do everything you want it to do. Okay? So that is NuPlus. Now, NuPlus comes in other forms. NuPlus comes in a form that we call, it's still in a powder, but it's called VitaShake. And that actually has more protein to it. It has more of a version of tofu, and that's the easiest way I can explain it to you. Again, a non-GMO, but it for those of you that truly want more protein, and a lot of you need it, VitaShake's the way to go. If you're looking at wanting isolated protein, a lot of you tell me I don't want any, you don't love NuPlus, some of you don't love it. You love what it does, but it's not your go-to product. I want to challenge you to go to the protein powder. Because Sunrider's version, that's pea protein and a rice base, is wonderful. And again, allows for the body to grow, muscles to grow, bones to be less porous, memory improves, and it's still a NuPlus base. Okay? And you can continue to look on Sunrider's website. There's some other versions. We even have a bar. That's wonderful also and important. But again, everything really is based on NuPlus. So I want you to truly give it a chance. this summer, and see if for you can find a new moment where your body starts to balance and a lot of you need it, in a less stressful way, in a more healing way. Okay, I want to just jump into 3 products that you've all keep emailing me about, and I'm guessing that a lot of this has to do with Dr. Rubin has had some knee surgery, and he's talked about a lot of different products, but one that is really spectacular, doesn't get enough attention, but a lot of you buy it from the other stores. I want to remind you again that when I talk about each product, we're talking concentration. You will not find a healthier version of these foods in a concentrated form anywhere. You really won't. And so I want to jump into spirulina. Spirulina is what looks like blue-green algae. It's very popular, very common for a lot of you, when you are at the health food store, when you're at Whole Foods, you text me and ask me about it. Do we have any blue-green algae? When I lived in Japan, my kids are all born in South Korea. When I was there for a long time, this is popular products with Sunrider, but they're popular products everywhere. Spirulina is what we call a perfect food. There is no such thing as a perfect food, but if there is one, spirulina is going to come the closest. And it's a product that so many of you do not use from Sunrider, and I'm always surprised by it. And many of you have emailed this week about it. It smells a little fishy, and it looks very green. And for those of you that have used it, you know that your hair grows faster. I know one of you that's on is always saying, oh my gosh, my hair stops graying, and all of a sudden the color comes back, the nails get stronger. This is a version, guys, of what we call complete amino acids. And so I'm going to read you first from Sunrider's product sheet. It says, our natural formula packs a wealth of nutrients in a super concentrated form to help keep your body in balance. A blue-green algae, spirulina, is composed largely of protein. Think of this as the vegan steak. That's my interpretation. Spirulina is composed largely of protein and contains key vitamins and minerals, along with 8 essential amino acids, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids, your omega-3, 6, 9. It's a true superfood you need in your diet. If there was one ingredient I wish everyone were using, it was spirulina. And I'm always surprised how few use this. Sunrider also states that spirulina is called the original superfood. It provides not only an array of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, omega-3, 6, and 9. It's also particularly rich in what we call beta-carotene, which is a precursor to vitamin A. It has vitamin K, it's easily digestible, but it's got easily digestible iron. Iron is very hard to digest, and anyone who's ever had to take iron knows it constipates you. Iron's hard to absorb. Spirulina is the best form of it. It's commonly taken to support overall health, boost the immune system, and give you physical stamina. One of the questions that's asked that I think is important is, what is spirulina? Where does it come from? And this is under the facts and questions on the product fact sheet. You guys can pull this up on Sunrider's webpage under spirulina, and actually you can read this or send this to whomever you want. And Sunrider states that it's a species of edible microalgae. So for myself, right, I am on the East Coast. I was in and have been and will go back to Cape Cod. The kids are in the water and they pull out seaweed. We go to Maine all the time, constantly pulling out seaweed. Welcome to blue-green algae. All of you have ever been to the ocean, know what it looks like, right? It's important you understand that it is an edible version of microalgae that grows naturally in warm ponds and lakes, and it's cultivated and harvested in man-made reservoirs. But the spirulina, which is most important for all of you, is absorbable, guys. That's the difference. So even though a lot of you love eating seaweed, it's great. You can never eat enough to get the regenerative effect you want. But spirulina gives you that. It gives you all of those. For anyone who's had seaweed before, it tastes salty, right? It gives you all of those important minerals and vitamins that a lot of us lack. It helps with everything that protein does. It's a building block to your cells. So think of recovery and regeneration in rebuilding tissue, muscle, right? Anything that's inflamed, but also what else does protein help grow? Bones. Think of your nails, your hair follicles. It can be eyelashes. Think of everything that grows. That's what spirulina feeds. Now, in saying all that, I'm really curious who is using it and can share about it, because I have a feeling most aren't.
Dr. Dees, it's Marty.
Yes. Hi.
I've been a Sunrider for 37 years, and I was not using spirulina until I listened to you.
Yeah.
And you talked about this a while back, and I started adding it to my regimen, and I can't tell you, I love spirulina. It really, it's true though. I don't have gray hair when it grows. It's dark. It's like my nails are growing like crazy. I really love spirulina, and then it's made. I don't know if it's, but I did notice that whole protein thing. Like it must give me something more than what I was doing already, which is good because my nails are longer than they've ever been. My hair grows fast. It's just been a really great addition, and I really love spirulina. And I give it to my husband because he doesn't eat a lot of vegetables, like green vegetables a lot. And I'm like, we're gonna eat your big vegetables. It's great, but thanks for telling us all about that. Because there's always these things Sunrider has, and I never really knew over the years really what they did. But it was so great that we can come up with all this stuff, and then we just need someone like you to educate us.
Redirect us. Redirect. Back. You're welcome. That's great. Guys, I'm going to have you start 6, especially if you're in your car. Because I can hear your conversations. So everybody start 6 again. 1 second, honey. Or mute. I can hear somebody in the car. Okay, we're just going to keep going. Before we go on, guys, say it again, honey.
I want to know what Sunrider food you're saying has spirulina in it.
It's called spirulina.
Oh, really?
That's the actual product, yeah.
I've been buying spirulina from somebody else somewhere.
See? Right. Exactly. So that's why I'm redirecting everyone back to Sunrider and back to spirulina that Sunrider is utilizing, right? Because again, the ingredients matter. How something's grown, how it's cultivated, how it's concentrated matters. In theory, I can say spirulina, we can all go to different places and buy it. But how vital, how alive is it still? How active? What's it going to do for you? So I can promise you Sunrider spirulina is concentrated and still alive. Therefore, the benefits will happen. That's the key, guys. If you're not getting the results from products you're using every other place that you're buying them, even though in theory they're great, it doesn't mean they're active, alive, vital, or concentrated. Okay? So spirulina is one of those products a lot of you asked me about. I want to remind you, this is under single herbs on Sunrider's website. So when you're shopping, go to single herbs and buy spirulina. I want to just kind of answer something that Margie had said, and that's a question I get asked all the time. How is it that I'm getting something from spirulina when I eat all of these Sunrider foods? Because spirulina is it's a very unique food unto itself. and the combination that it naturally has within it of what we call essential fatty acids, kind of like the fattiness you feel in an avocado, the omega-3, 6, the things that feed your brain. It's the amount of protein in the combination with all of the amino acids and all of the specific vitamins in it and the minerals that allow for everything that we eat protein for to grow spirulina feeds. Spirulina is used in other countries very differently than it is here. For us, it's always a novelty and something we didn't think of. In other places, it's the first thing they think of. Okay? So if I can encourage everybody, and one amazing combination, right, would be for those of you that really want to maximize the benefits of the protein in there with the amino acids, is to add it to your NuPlus. You can open those capsules up if you want, and you can make a shake, you can make a pudding. For those of you that don't love the fishiness of it, and it's really not fishy, it's just the sea smell or the lake smell that you get from it, you can swallow them like a capsule. But I will tell you that I have a habit of opening up spirulina in whether it's salad dressing, or it can be something as simple as the end when I've made pasta sauce and I'm about to serve it. I will open up capsules of spirulina and stir it in there. There's ways to get spirulina in your diet in many ways and get it into your family. Okay? All right, the next one that I want to cover here. Sure, Ginny, go ahead. Yeah, sure.
That sounds like a good way to get it down. Our children, our families, is just sprinkle that in our spaghetti sauce. But I was so impressed by what you're saying that I went immediately and found my spirulina, and I had just an old bottle of it, and I went and took 3 of them, and I just wondered how many capsules do you suggest on that?
So the first thing, flip the bottle over and take a look at what is recommended. You'll be surprised. So can you tell everyone? Wait, hold on. Richard, is that you that I can hear?
I do not receive that, and so I'm not able to do that. But if somebody else could do that, I would love it.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I was muted, Karen.
Thanks, sweetie. Rich, do you hear? Yeah, thanks, Rich. I was just hoping that was you. It'll be an easy fix. So, guys, thanks anyway. It's 3 capsules is truly a serving size. So you were correct in the 3. And so, again, you can do, it'll say 3 with meals. So for some of you, that could be 3 times a day. What I would encourage you, especially those of you that already are using some of the Sunrider foods and are adding in the spirulina, you'll be very surprised at the extra that this works for you. Like Margie was talking about. You probably will get a boost of energy, nails feel stronger, hair is less gray, some of those basics. But I think that everybody of all ages will benefit from this, okay? So get it out of the cabinet and let's try. The other one, go ahead, Anna.
I just have a quick question. So is this really beneficial for the thyroid because it's in the seafood family?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does it have iodine in it? I'm thinking it does.
So I think that these are important questions when we're looking at our own health. But absolutely, it does. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
No, that's okay. And you guys, if you have a question that I can help answer, go ahead and just shoot me an email. It's fine. And I will answer it. I'm so sorry. I have so much back noise that I'm doing my best here to listen to all of you. All right. I want to cover the second product that everybody's asked about this week. And it goes hand in hand with a lot of what we're talking about because it's green. And it seems to keep resurrecting itself as one of the most important products, and that's Evergreen. And I think that we just are not a country that eat enough green, or if we do, it's in stages of I was eating my greens last week, but I'm not eating them this week, or I'm just not I'm not getting enough of the leafy greens that I truly need. But we have something that's called chlorophyll, and chlorophyll, kind of like spirulina, if you are at the store, you will see there are a lot of chlorophylls next to spirulina. This is kind of, if you think of green plants, this is the blood from the leafy greens. This is what it looks like when, if you were to squeeze the leafy green, this is molecularly closer in size to your red blood cells than anything else, and it's absorbed easily. It feeds the red blood cell. And if we look at evergreen, again, it's a concentrated form and easily digestible, but again, so important for everybody who's looking, truly looking for the recovery and the nutrition that feeds our bones, that feeds our red blood cells, that feeds our immune system, our circulation, our digestion, and you're just not able to consume enough of the greens. So I want you to hear what evergreen really does, and then we'll finish up with it. But evergreen is in a vial, and it looks like a liquid. It looks like a very dark blue-green, almost like kale looks. Evergreen provides an easy way to get the powerful antioxidants and phytonutrients of dark leafy greens in one tasty shot. You open it up and you drink it, or you mix it with some water or Fortune Delight and you drink it. It's powered by liquid chlorophyll. And evergreen enhances your energy because it supports your circulatory system, your blood flow. It feeds the blood, okay? So by supporting the circulatory system, it helps to transport the oxygen, the nutrients, and any other element that is necessary to all the body's systems. So think about if, for example, if your organs, we'll use your brain, if your organs needed oxygen to function, if your brain, think of what it feels like to have fresh air, needed oxygen so you would think clearer, right? You would say, oh my gosh, I know exactly the difference this is making because suddenly I can remember everything. Or if you knew that for you, you have varicose veins and you're drinking evergreen and suddenly they lightened or they started to dissipate. Or you noticed, right, that you started to recognize little changes, but huge changes, such as my endurance is better. I notice I don't fatigue as quickly. That's what happens when you put chlorophyll into the bloodstream. So when you're transporting oxygen and nutrients to the blood and then it's flowing, right, to all the body systems, you're going to notice that there is an increase in your mentality, in your cognitive ability, in your endurance, and in your recovery. Your body will love that. I always call it fresh air. Sunrider calls it clean energy. I would say, you know what it feels like to have fresh air? You breathe in fresh air. It's the same thing. Your body will love the clean energy. Here we go. Enhanced endurance and reduced recovery time. Exactly what I just said. Okay? The peppermint oil lends a fresh, clean flavor, but it also helps with the digestive process. So, Sunrider, if you look under their ingredient highlights, will show you that the main ingredient here is called copper chlorophyllin. This main ingredient in evergreen is designed to stabilize. It's a stable form of chlorophyll that supports your circulatory system or your blood flow. It will help clean your intestines, which is really important and will aid in digestion. So for a lot of you that feel gassy and bloated and not well because of your digestive tract, believe it or not, evergreen is the answer. But the key here is to remember that evergreen feeds the blood and helps transport all the nutrition along with oxygen to the brain, to the organs, through the systems. And for anybody who's not drinking it, I would challenge you to do evergreen and add it with your spirulina. And that is a wonderful combination of all your greens, whether it's from the lake, whether it's from the plants. It's the bottom line is you're going to get all the greens, all the vitamins, the amino acids, the proteins. This is a win-win combination for everybody. The other thing I just want to add to this is for those of you that want to eat the spirulina because it has so much protein in it, and you are exercising, or you are someone that's walking, or you're a busy parent, or you're a grandparent, or you find yourself outdoors a lot more now, where you are in the sun more, right? You are perspiring more. You are more active in different ways than you had been. I want to remind you that the Evergreen, along with the Spirulina, will shorten your recovery time. It will build the muscle. It will replace what feel like and what are porous bones. So for a lot of you that are weaker or have osteoporosis, or you're finding that your hair is falling out, your nails are cracking and they're peeling, you are wanting to be healthier, but you're not sure what else to do, this is the answer. It's this combination of getting all of these greens in all of these forms. The other piece that I just want to kind of end with on this is that the iron that is in the chlorophyll is an essential mineral, and it's really needed. It's an integral part of your hemoglobin molecule. It's found directly in the center of your red blood cell. And your hemoglobin aids in that transport of oxygen from your lungs to all the tissue of your body. And so when we're looking at how do we get all this nutrition in, right? How do we all have a well-being, a new sense of well-being? And maybe I'm using some of the Sunrider foods, or I don't know how to use some of these other foods. I want to challenge you week to week to add something new. So I know that's a lot of information on two products that you thought probably weren't as complicated, but the truth is they're not. They're just packed with nutrition, and more nutrition than you knew. And most of us drink Evergreen because we think it's just extra greens, but it is the key to the transport of oxygen and all of the active vitamins and minerals into your bloodstream, and to make those red blood cells healthier. And that spirulina is not just blue-green algae, it's protein. And it's dense protein that rebuilds muscle and tissue and repairs. And together, that combination of greens can only regenerate. And so will you see hair grow thicker, fuller, nails grow, you feel better, you have better endurance, your digestion's better, your circulation's better? Yes. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to ask you, when was the last time any of you did that combination? See, nobody.
This morning for Margie.
Yay! Go on, Margie, go for it.
Well, I always do the Evergreen, since you told us about that too. Long ago, I never was a big user of the Evergreen until I was educated by you again. And I started doing that every morning. I add the Vita Fruit and the Evergreen together and make a little drink, and with the Vita Doppus, and that's the first thing I get into my body. And then I do my spirulina and everything, but I've never tried like adding the spirulina to that drink first. But I always just take the capsule. But I might do it. I'm gonna try that other way too. So, but I love it.
That's a great combination. That's a great recipe. So just beginning the day, guys, with the Vita Fruit and the Evergreen, the Vita Doppus. She's got her probiotic and prebiotic and biotic, and she's got her vitamin in a food grade form of C, along with, right, all the leafy greens going on here. And then adding in the blue-green algae in the spirulina form. I cannot imagine how you would not feel great getting up in the morning and starting your day. But I will tell you, Margie, how many people wake up feeling awful. And so it's important to remember that how we go to sleep at night, the last thing we do, and then how we wake up in the morning, the first thing we do, truly matter to the rest of our day and to the quality of our sleep and how our bodies recover. So rather than waiting for symptoms, such as I have a headache, I have a stomach ache, right? I have leg cramps. I'm going to challenge you step by step. How do you want to start your day? How do you want to end your day? The middle, I think a lot of us have figured out. But if you wake up, the first time you wake up and you feel great, you're going to share it with us. But Margie's combination is wonderful. But for all of you right now, I'm going to encourage you to take a look again at your NuPlus as the foundation of your nourishment. And I'm going to challenge you to get all the greens in the evergreen and then in the blue-green algae form. And let's just start giving our bodies everything they need so that we can all get excited at the recovery and well-being that we feel, and therefore only want to share it with everybody. All right, questions, comments, thoughts, everybody.
I have a thought. This is
Sure.
I really appreciate spirulina also to round out snacks because it's high in protein. And I think of that old-time program called The Zone, kind of. Anytime that, you know, if you maybe have an apple, but you feel like, well, that might be a little sweet or it's not as filling, then I always take maybe a couple capsules of the spirulina to add to that. So I round out snacks as well as taking it regularly. And I can say that having undergone losing half my head of hair due to trauma and illness a few months back, that I have 3.5-inch growth all over my head because I never leave off spirulina, and I, in fact, upped it some. So it's just a fabulous gift, and it does matter where it comes from. Because years ago, when I was in a series of natural doctors, they all warned me against taking blue-green algae, or I don't know if Spirulina is a trade name, forgive me if it is. Anything of that, because there are no pristine waters. The ocean is not clean, and they were very concerned about me gathering any heavy metal content. And so we can be so grateful that our spirulina is grown on cement ponds of purified water. So I have contacted a couple other companies just to see how they grow theirs. They don't even answer me.
Right.
So we have to, it's the best thing ever, and it's clean. So we can take it in full confidence and see the results right away. So it's fabulous.
That was wonderful, and I'm so glad you're feeling better. That was wonderful. And I have to say, I love that idea when everyone is looking for a little bit more protein, even in the snack, and you're eating that apple and you're thinking, you know, where am I getting the protein? Use the spirulina. That's wonderful to round it out that way. Anybody else? That was really good, Judy. Thank you. Really, thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you to everyone who wanted to participate tonight. Thank you for sharing. I hope it was informative. I'm not sure if Donna is on right now, or I don't think Marlene is. I know Richard is. Richard, you can ask Marlene what calls come next, but I want to remind you that Bob and Donna's Rising Star call is after this. And please, I will post any other calls that are coming up on Rising Stars page and also on the Dr. Dees Sunrider page. And I am really proud of each and every one of you for taking amazing steps, whether it is a baby step or a giant leap into your health. I think all steps are wonderful, and I'm proud of you. Good job, everybody, and I'll talk to you next week. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Dees.